Welcome everyone to the Client Acquisition and Scaling Monday Mindset. I hope everyone had an amazing weekend, and I hope you guys are energized to have literally an amazing week. We come here every week to get ourselves pumped up, to get motivated. It does the same for me, as I hope it does for you. So, welcome to the Monday Mindset. This is the place to be every Monday. If you cannot make it and you're watching the replay, that's okay. Make sure you watch this every week. I try to give you some nuggets that will help your week and help you kind of move forward with your business. Remember, we're here to feed your mind. The tips and strategies we give you are to build and scale your business. Plus, you get to be around like-minded business owners, people that are on the same journey you're on. I can't stress enough how important that was for me as I was building my business, being around people who were doing the same thing I was doing at the same time. It really helps to know that you're not alone in what you're doing. Remember, when you change your mindset, you do change your business. If this is your first time, please type welcome in the comments. And if you'd like to receive SMS reminders so you don't miss one of these Monday Mindsets, you can type SMS in the comments and we'll get you the link to get you set up for SMS messaging. What we do is we send you one notice 10 minutes before we start. That's it. We don't bug you. We don't send you a lot of junk. If you're watching the replay, you can type in what I asked you to type as well, and we'll get you squared away. Now, for my new folks that may be here or watching the replay, my name is Lisa Parziale, and I own a 7-figure marketing agency in North Texas. Now, today, we're going to talk about a very, very important topic: time and money. And more importantly, which one should you choose? Which one is more important to you? Which one is going to help you more in life, time or money? So I'm going to ask for you to go ahead and put in the comments. Put in the comments, which one is more important to you? Which one do you think is more important? And David, I see you. Great weekend. Awesome. Ready for an amazing week. Perfect. Michael typed in time. Michael thinks time is more important. Guys, go ahead and type in the comments which you think is more important, time or money. Given the choice between the two, let's say you only get to pick one, which one would you pick? Now, I'm going to be quite frank. Most people focus on money, right? They focus on money. David said money will create the time. Most people focus on money and do not focus on time. And I'm here to tell you the opposite is true, right? Money can create time, but time actually creates more money than anything, right? So that's what I want to kind of talk about today, why time should be the number one thing you focus on, and the money will come because of it, okay? So I'm going to, kind of start with just a small story about what I did. And that might help you understand why money didn't buy me more time, right? Time definitely bought me more money. So when I first started my business, Colette and I got it started up, and the first thing I did was allocate some time, right? I started off good. I started looking for clients and getting clients, and money started coming in quickly. We actually did really well on the client generation and the lead generation side of our business. So money started coming in. In our first year in business, we had made over, I want to say 80,000, I think the first year, or close to 100,000. Now we've been doing this on the side for a long time, but this was our first year truly. We still had jobs, but truly focusing on a real business, right? And so we brought some money in. We still had day jobs. Now Colette quit her day job sooner than I did. And then we started putting more and more time into lead gen. And you guys have heard this story. And then more and more money kept coming in. What we did wrong, the number one mistake I would say I made, is I didn't invest the money coming in to buy more time. So David said, money will create the time. In fact, money can buy time. It doesn't create time, but money can buy time. But time also makes money. So how do you buy time? Well, you hire people. We've talked about that in the past few weeks. You hire people. And in my business, as I was creating it, I really started, getting that synergy of bringing in more customers and bringing in more customers. And it almost became an obsession, to where my goal was to bring in as many customers as I can and to make as much money as I can without spending any of that money on the physical business, and only spending it on myself and our family. And so we didn't buy any time. What do I mean by buying time? We didn't hire people. We didn't invest that money into tools. So people actually make time for you. They're working while you sleep. They're working while you work. They're working while you vacation. We didn't do that. And we didn't buy tools. So something that you buy a tool that might cost you $50 or $80 a month, you think, well, I don't want to put out that money. And instead you spend hours physically doing something that you could have had a tool do for $80 a month. So that's kind of what I got in the habit of doing. And I spent year after year digging what I would call a time hole, right? So no matter how much money I made, no matter what I was doing, it just seemed like I had less and less time. I can't get the time back, apparently, or at least so I thought. So I just worked longer and longer hours instead of hiring people, which we talked about last week. So if you missed last week, go watch that replay. And the week before, we talked about wearing hats. Go watch that week. But today we're talking about time. It got to the point where I remember working all through the night one night. And it was about 5 a.m. when I finished the work that I should have been hiring someone else to do. So I had stayed up all night doing this work. And what did I do after that? I went to bed and I slept almost all day. Did I really get any time back? Did I save any time? No. In fact, it put me in a really bad situation, right? I was borrowing time over and over and over again instead of spending my money. And then what happened is one day I was actually listening to inspirational, podcast. I don't know if you guys ever do that, but I was listening to an old series by Zig Ziglar. And I had an epiphany, an aha moment. And it changed how I thought about time. And I'm going to walk you down that same path that Zig walked me down when I was listening. So I want you guys to put yourself in this scenario for a minute. So, stop doing what you're doing and focus for a minute and just think about this. So today is Monday. And I call you up today and I say, hey, I would like to take you on an all expense paid vacation to Acapulco. Put in the chat if you guys want to go. I'm paying. Put in the chat if you want to go. So I'm going to take you for a week-long, all expense paid vacation to Acapulco. Who's going with me? Right. I'm in, right? A lot of me's, of course. Now here's the catch. We leave tomorrow. How many people can leave tomorrow and go to Acapulco with me? You can't bring your computer. You can't bring your work. How many people can pick up tomorrow and go to Acapulco? The people who said you're in, the people who said me, are you still in? Can you still go? Yeah, not, whoops, now I can't go. I could go maybe in a week, maybe I could go in 2 weeks, maybe I can go in a month. But to pick up tomorrow and go. And at the time that I had heard this scenario, at the time that I heard Zig Ziglar, I was at a point to where there's no way I probably could have went in a month if given notice. In fact, we hadn't taken vacation probably in a few years at this point. Sure, we'd take a little trip to the lake on the weekends, or we'd take a week or two and go, to the lake or do something like that. But we worked while we were there. We were on our computers the whole time. It was very hard to put a computer away. It was very hard to steal any time back. So when I listened to Zig talking about Acapulco, it really hit me. I mean, it hit me really hard on thinking about my life. And we used to, and still do, go every year to Destin, Florida. And we do spend about 4 to 6 weeks every year. We rent a beach house. And interestingly, when I am home, time slips away. Time doesn't work the same way. When I am in Destin, Florida, and I know that everybody else, and we go down there and we visit with family and friends. So a lot of people are down there, some retired people. So every night it's something, it's dinner, it's drinks, it's happy hour, it's an event. And the time schedule in Destin is super early, meaning happy hour starts at 3 p.m. And so it was about that time I'd listened to Zig Ziglar, and we were supposed to go to dinner with Colette's family, and she had a bunch of family in town. And I didn't have everything done that needed to get done. And I had timelines and deadlines and things that I promised people. So I ended up not going that evening to that event, whatever the event was. And it really struck me how much of my life I was wasting, if that makes sense. Meaning, yeah, I had all the money. We had all this money and we were spending money and we were buying nice things, but I didn't have the time. So when you think money buys time, I was in that same trap of thinking money will buy me time. Money will solve my problems. It won't. Only time will solve time problems, right? Time management. And so every year after that event, every year after that happened, it was interesting that when I would go to Florida, when we'd go to Destin, I would always have my work done as quickly as possible, because you never knew when you had pop-up plans, right? Somebody texts or calls and say, hey, a bunch of us are going here. We'll be there around 3 or 4, right? There was a reason, there was a purpose not to procrastinate, to get the work done, to do what needed to get done. And so the idea here is to try to think about bucketing your time. In our program, we really tackle time. We tackle this as a subject to talk about, what do you do from the time you get up until 2 hours after that? And then what do you do from the next hour to the next hour and to that hour to the next hour? It's like you have to make appointments with yourself, even if you have to use a calendar or a timer to say, hey, this is what I need to get done in this bucket. And I need to get rid of my distractions. I need to stop everything else from happening in my life. Why? Because if I don't, I'm going to get to 4 or 5 or 6 p.m. and not everything's done. And so when everyone else is going out and having drinks on the beach or going surfing or going to do other things, I'm stuck inside working, and that's no fun. So remember Zig Ziglar and remember Acapulco. Every single time you feel overwhelmed or everything's not getting done, or you don't feel like you can have a weekend, or you're not able to take, week off, how do you get that time back? And my answer to that is only you can take that time back. Money can't buy it. Money can buy people. Money can pay for people that'll do the work to give you your time back, but you have to hire those people. You have to make the conscious decision to do that. Money can't buy you time. Money can only help you buy the things that buy you time. So as we need both, and I'm not going to get too heavy into that because we've already covered that, and you guys go listen to some of the past Monday mindsets to get there. I want to really quantify how valuable time really is. Okay. I really want to, and this might be a short Monday mindset today because I'm going to do something weird and give you time back, and I'm going to give you an exercise to do. But before we do that, let's talk about the value of money versus the value of time. So it's real easy to put a value on money, isn't it? Very easy to quantify the value of money, right? So money, literally, we look at it, we know how much we have, we know how much we can spend, we know how much things cost. It's very finite. This many dollars equals this thing. This many dollars equals that thing. But what about time? How easy is it to put a value on time? So when you come here every week and you spend, notice I try to keep this to right around 40 minutes or less. I do that on purpose. I try to be succinct and to the point to save you time, but also to save myself time, right? Time is more precious than anything. And there's one reason why. We can make all the money in the world we want. Money is duplicatable. Time is not. From the moment you're born, the clock starts ticking until the moment you die. You can't get it back. If you've wasted it, you can't re-earn it. But what you can do is think about how you spend your time and start spending it more wisely. It's almost like money in that sense, right? So money, we want to spend money wisely. We think about where every dollar is going, right? We create budgets for our money. Why is it we don't budget for time? And I had that thought, and I started doing that in my business. I started doing that in my life. I started bucketing my time. So my schedule is pretty simple. When I get up in the morning and I don't really feel like doing anything, that's when I'll sit down with my computer and I will do some stuff that's personal to me, whether it be read something I want to read about business, work on some course I'm taking, work on, something like that. And I can do that till about 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., I'm done. So that means if I get up at 6, I got 3 hours of me time. If I get up at 9, I've got no hours, right? Because from 9 to 11, I work on my agency, my Portside Marketing stuff. And I do whatever needs to be done in that time, 2 hours a day. That's why you hear me say I work 5 to 10 hours a week, because I have a bucket for it. And I try like heck to get everything I need to do for that business done in that bucket. Then I have some time to do lunch or do some personal stuff. And then in the afternoon, same thing. I keep bucketing my time on what I want to do. Even into the weekends, I like to bucket time. What do I bucket my time for in the weekends? Well, fortunately, this weekend, I literally bucketed my time. And from right around Thursday evening until this morning, I did not work. I did not get on my computer. I did not do anything because I had family in town. And as you can see by my nice rosy colored cheeks, we spent a lot of time up here at the lake having a great time. But I had to literally plan for that. I had to bucket that. The whole week up until then, I had to make sure that I was spot on with my time to make sure I got everything done so I could take that time off. I want you to start thinking every weekend is non-negotiable. You have to start thinking that way. And I'm not perfect and I don't have this down yet. I'm working on it. But if you start thinking as weekends are non-negotiable or evenings are non-negotiable or whatever time it is you're trying to spend with your family or with your friends having fun, because that's the true life, right? That's the life we're trying to live. Make those non-negotiable. It will make you more productive in the time you do have scheduled. If you have nothing to look forward to, if you have nothing that you're trying to work towards, we tend to kind of dork with our time, right? It takes a little longer than it should, right? Or we get distracted or we allow others to distract us. Again, in our program, we talk about distractions. We talk about spouses and children and everything that helps you be better with your buckets. Now, remember, it's very, very, very hard to put a value on time. And I want to be clear. We have to work, right? I'm not saying you're going to be able to quit your job and never work again. We have to do that. And we should all love what we do. And I love what I do. But balance is the key, right? And if you're around me long enough, you're going to know I love data, I love numbers. So let's talk numbers for a few minutes. And I want to help illustrate. This is something that I saw years ago, and it made me start looking at time a little differently, almost like a clock that was ticking down, right? When we're young, we think we have all the time in the world. And time isn't important. As we get older, we start seeing time as much more valuable. So let's see if we can figure out exactly how valuable time is to us, okay? How many, or you know what, in the chat, put what you guys think the average lifespan of a person is in 2021. What is the average lifespan of a person? Go ahead and put that in the chat for me if you happen to know. It doesn't have to be male, female. You know, we're not looking for an exact. We're looking for, you know, somewhere around. Okay, yep. So I see 70 to 80. Yeah. So let's pick 75 years. And in fact, I believe in 2021, the average lifespan went down because of COVID. And I believe it's 73 point something. And it used to be 77 point something. So I'm going to pick 75 right there in the middle, okay? So from the day we're born, if we know we have 75 years on this earth, that means we have 27,375 days to live, okay? So 27,375 days to live. Now your time starts the day you're born, right? So let's say some of you guys are probably young, right? Maybe you're 25 years old right now. If you're 25 years old, that means you have roughly 18,250 days left. That's pretty much what you have on average. Okay. What about if you're 50? What if you're 50 years old, right? 27,000, that sounded like a lot, right? When we were born. But if you're 50 and your lifespan on average is 75, you only have roughly 9,125 days left. That number's getting smaller, and we're starting to feel it a little bit, aren't we? Now it's seeming just a tad smaller. And I'm going to even go up a little higher. Let's say you're 65 years old. Again, if the average lifespan is 75, that means you have roughly 3,650 days left. Now remember, this is just an average. You could have more, you could have less. There's no telling how long someone will live or not. So I don't want you to look this like money in the bank, right? Just like money in the bank, money in the stock market, money in real estate. Things happen, right? Life happens. We're not guaranteed that number of days left. We may have less, we may have more. Now, days sometimes are hard to really understand. So I'm going to do the same exact math because I love math. And let's look at it for weeks. Let's just go for weeks, okay? If your average lifespan is 75, you roughly have 3,900 weeks in your life. So 3,900 weeks in your life. At 25, you probably have another 2,600 weeks left. And at 50, 1,300 weeks left. And at 65, 520 weeks. 520 weeks. Remember, 52 weeks in a year, 10 years, 520 weeks. Again, every time you don't take a week vacation. Why? What are you waiting for? Every time you don't take weekends off or you're not living. See, this is the problem that I had in my business. And that's where I'm going with this, right? It's simple. Everyone is born with that clock running and everyone will die. That's a fact. It's a simple fact of life. There's nothing we can do to change that. And I don't tell you this to scare you or to make you depressed or make you feel bad or anything like that. It's quite the opposite. Most of us have a lot of time left still. What are we going to do with it? Right? I want to make sure that everyone here understands that owning your own business is like a free ticket to the best life ever if we don't get caught in the traps. And I got caught in a lot of those traps. I want to make sure everyone here makes the best of each and every day. Now, that doesn't mean we get to take them all off, right? We can't have a permanent vacation unless we do something great and are independently wealthy. Most of us have to work. But you want to make the best of every single day, every single week, every single year, because they fly by, don't they? Right? Look at your life right now. I want you to look at your life right now, the balance of work and life that you have. And I want you to answer honestly in the comments. I don't care if you're live, if you're watching the replay. I want you to answer honestly. Do you like how you're spending your time right now? Are you happy with your work-life balance right now? Are you happy with everything in your life when it comes to time? Your vacations, your weekends, time with your kids, time with your family. Okay? And if you're not comfortable sharing with everyone, share privately. Use the private chat. If you're watching the replay, share privately with me on Facebook. Okay? And if you're not comfortable sharing, just answer the question in your head. Because if you're not happy with the way you're spending your time, you have to change it. Not next week, not next year, today. Right? You have to make a change. And here's why I'm telling you this. I look back at the last 10 years in business, and I would love to say we, but I can't even use the word we. I was about to say we, and I can't. Colette is so much better at work-life balance than I am. Colette is so much better at saying no than I am. I squandered a lot of good opportunity in the first 7 years of our business. The last 3 years have really shown us how life could be. And that's what we continue to strive for. Now, is it perfect? Nope. I still like this morning, I was rushing to get ready for this Monday Mindset. I did not have everything ready, but that's okay. Because I was not going to work until this morning. I made a promise to myself of the weekend I was going to have. Now, did I open my computer up over the weekend? Yeah, there were a couple times where I had a couple hours in between where we were in between events, people were showering, that kind of thing. And yeah, I went and kept up with email and I did a few things. But I didn't have to if I didn't want to. Don't spend your life stuck somewhere doing something you simply don't love. I've made a commitment to myself, to my business, to Colette, to my family, everybody, that I'm going to do better. Am I going to be perfect? No. But I'm going to do better, right? Because think about that, and I'm not going to be shy about it. I'm 53 years old. So I'm up there in that range where I have 1,300 weeks left, 1,300. It sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But it's not, right? I'm up there where I have 9,000 or, somewhere in the 9,125 day less, range. I know where I'm at, and I'm okay with that. But I have to make my life count every day. So where I'm going with this is small things, little things, right? Little tiny things. When you think about, you get off this call, you're pumped up. Look at your calendar this week. And this is going to be your challenge this week. I want you to look at your calendar this week. And I'm going to check in with you on Friday. So look for that message on Friday, and we're going to check in on Friday. I want you to look at your calendar this week, figure out what the most important stuff you have got to get done, especially anything you've been putting off. Think about the time you want to take back. So maybe it's, I haven't been able to take Saturday and Sunday off at all for forever. Okay. Your goal is to go to Acapulco Saturday and Sunday, if that's your case, right? It's possible. If you hyper focus on, okay, what do I really need to get done this week? And what am I doing that doesn't matter? What am I doing that I could just stop and put off, right? I want you guys to hyper focus on that. And then see how that goes this week. It's just 1 week of your life. What's the worst that could happen? You actually decide that, you know what, this makes sense. Now, we take a whole week to teach this in our program. So teaching it in 40 minutes is probably not going to happen. But here's the crux of it. Nobody takes your time away from you than you. So for instance, if somebody says, hey, could you help me with this? If you don't have the time, say no. I am so sorry. I would love to help you, but I need to get this done. If I don't, I won't be able to go to Acapulco on Saturday. That's what should be playing in your mind, right? Or could I do that next week? That would be ideal for me, and I'll have time on my calendar on this day. Odds are that person will either find someone else to do it or wait. I have customers all the time that call us and say, hey, can we do this? Or even brand new customers, hey, I want you to build a website. I need you to start tomorrow and I need it to be done in 2 weeks. You know, that's not going to work for me. That doesn't work for our processes. So I say no. 9 out of 10 of those people say, well, what could you do it in? Well, we can do it in 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, that'll be fine. But you're sure you can have it done in 4 to 6 weeks? Yes. What if I would have said no to 2 or yes to 2 weeks? Again, it's your time. You bucket it. You decide what gets done with it. And right now, I know somebody listening is probably thinking, no, I got kids or I got family. I get that. Trust me, I get that. But you have to figure it out. You have to find out how to speak with people, how to talk to people, how to make your time count so you can take time back for the stuff that matter. In our program, and let's talk about that in a minute, because I want to tell you, next week we're going to do something special. So before I do, from 2011 to probably right around 2017, we started our business. And while we did spend 4 to 6 weeks in Destin every year, we rarely did much else. And even when we were in Destin, I was working all the time because I didn't have time figured out. Money wasn't the issue. I thought it was. It wasn't. It was time. But then we figured that out and we fixed those things. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but in 2019, I spent 12 weeks. I went and counted 12 full weeks traveling. And most of those weeks, I was not focused 100% on work. Sure, I worked while I was gone sometimes, but 12 weeks traveling. And I earned more money in 2019 traveling 12 weeks than I'd ever earned in my life. My life counts, right? I do what I want. I do it when I want, with whom I want. My life counts now. And I don't feel like it did before. And now I get to help you guys. Notice I've come on this new adventure of creating these courses. I've gone back to my roots of being a trainer. I'm doing that because I can get my time back to do it, right? I get to help people like you guys because my life counts. And most importantly, I now have time for friends and family and adventure and fun things because my life counts. I want you guys right now, type life in the comments, in the replay chat, wherever you are. Type life if you want to make every moment of your life count, right? These affirmations, when I ask you to type this stuff, I'm not just playing. When you write it down mentally, physically, you put those two things together, you're making a commitment to yourself, right? So I'm seeing a lot of people, both privately and not privately, right? Your life counts. And I saw a lot of people say, no, you're not happy with your life. You know, I have had some people say, yep, pretty much happy, but for the most part, but it could change, right? So as you know, guys, and I know some of you guys are already in the program, so you know where I'm going with this. But for those of you who aren't, I've created a program that not only helps you with your business. Look, I want to help you with your business, but I also have to help you with your life because that matters more than your business, right? A happy life will make a happy business and not the opposite. And so our program gives you that lifetime balance, right? That work-life balance. The first 2 weeks, we deal literally with those things to make sure when you go through the program, you have the time necessary to put into working the program. And week after week, we help you take time back. We help you get your life back. We help you stop doing all the things that, hey, we all do. There's no guilt either in our program, right? There's no guilt. I'm the first person to say I've made every mistake in the book. So in a few short weeks, we are going to be opening the doors for our program. Haven't had it open in 14 weeks. Next week, we're going to do what I like to call a promo cycle. Okay, it starts next week. It'll go for 2 weeks. And I'm going to give you valuable information in our Monday Mindsets. But next week, the members of this group, you guys are going to get first shot, first dibs at joining the program if you're not already in it. Okay. And why do I say that? Because we have limited seating. We've had to close it before. We've had to shut it down before, once we get to our seats. So you guys get to join first, and you're going to get access to some extra stuff. For those of you guys who join early, I'm going to give you some extra stuff to start on right away. Why am I telling you this? Because remember, I didn't do this alone. I did not figure out my time alone. I did not figure out my business alone. Yeah, I had a lot of reading I did, but I also had coaches and mentors. I took programs. I went to training. I joined masterminds, right? I share with you my aha moments, but it really did take a lot for me to get everything right. And I'm here to tell you, this life, you see behind me a different setup than I normally have. And that's because we came up here to the lake to spend time with family. They left and we've decided to stay. When are we going home? We don't know. When we want to, because that is the freedom of life. And I want you guys to have the same thing. Okay. I want you to be able to fast track your business. I don't want you to spend 7 years like I did. Okay. That's why I created Agency Fast Track. We're going to open it up starting next week for you guys. You guys have the opportunity to change your lives like I did. Okay. And this is not you watch it. It's group coaching. So get ready for that. And I will talk to you guys about that next week. Now, before we go, let's talk about one more thing when it comes to time. Okay. If you want to bucket your time, and you guys play along with me this week and try to bucket your time. Bucket your family as well. Bucket your kids' playtime, bucket your family time. And what I mean by that is this week, I want you to carve out time specific that you normally wouldn't take, that you've always wanted to take. No matter what, you take that time. If you tell yourself, no matter what, you are going to do that, and you do it, it's funny how you figure out how to get it done, right? All of a sudden, that YouTube video that you're about to press play on, you're like, nah, I ain't got time for that, because if I watch that, I won't get to go do what I want to do. David typed in the chat, bucket gardening. Yeah, man, if you love gardening and you haven't been able to do it, is that YouTube video worth giving up gardening? No. And that's what I had to tell myself. Get it done. Get the work done. Get going. I've had people text me, hey, I have time for a quick chat. No, I'm sorry, I don't. I could, let me give you my schedule and you can put that on my calendar in the time buckets I have for meeting with people, and only that time bucket, right? Don't get distracted. So this week, that is your homework. That is your exercise. If you guys accept the challenge, type accept either in the chat or in the comments of the replay. And I know I ask you guys to type a lot, just play along. Yes, accept. I love this. Accept. David, I acknowledge, and I will check in with you. Michael accepts. Yeah. So everyone type in accept if you accept the challenge, because again, Friday, I'm going to check in with you, and that's only 4 days from now. I'm going to check in and see how things go and see how you guys are going, right? We're going to add to your bucket list one more thing. I want you to bucket one more thing. And that is, I want you to bucket in at least 30 to 60 minutes for you time, not family time, not any other time, you time, whether it's read a book, watch a self-help video, play a video game. Make sure you bucket in time for yourselves as well this week. Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys, hopefully you've received some value this week. If nothing else, I am here to pump you up. So hopefully you got pumped up. If you did receive value from the live stream, type value in the chat or the comments. And if you're watching the replay, please play with us and type in all that you do. I hope this Monday mindset gets your week off to an amazing and productive start. Remember to change your mind. You have to change your mind to change your business. Okay. Thanks for joining us and have a productive and profitable week, everyone. I will check with you on Friday. Thanks, guys.